Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Mobi. I'm Dr. Mobi, and we are honored with great guest Joey. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir, for coming on our show. So, I would like to learn more about yourself. What do you do for our audience? I mean, I know we had our brief intro.
Yeah. So, thanks for having me on. I essentially am a self-care habit coach. So what I do is I help people work on the habits that they need to really elevate their self-care. And this is honestly, it's been a bit of a reflection of COVID. It's just seeing that we have to be successful these days, we really do need to take care of ourselves. And more importantly, if we achieve a level of success, but it's not taking care of ourselves, or it's based on habits that are not, serving us, then that success is going to be short-lived and unfulfilling. So I basically sit down with people, and what I really focus on is helping them do what they already know to do.
Okay. And this is your website, right? So
Yep.
anybody wants to look at is by his name, you can check it out. His website is first and last name.net, right?
Yep.
So tell me about what are some of the things people can expect when they get you for your courses or podcast.
Yeah, the very first thing is that the course is not up. Oh, look at
Yeah, I know.
that.
I know it happens.
Yeah, of course it happens. Thanks for letting me know that. So the main thing that I do though is I help people with limiting beliefs, and where we look at what's stopping people from doing what they know to do. Because and what this was actually a big breakthrough for me this summer. I was working with a coach, and she said, "You know what? I think limiting beliefs live in the place where we process hearing and our and I honestly don't know if that's real. It sounds reasonable to me, but out of that thought, what happened was that I realized, or I started to think, like, I wonder if limiting beliefs are like songs that are stuck in our head. You're a musician. I'm sure you've had songs that get stuck in your head over and over again. And somebody told me a long time ago that if I sing the theme song to the Monkees, I don't know if you know that song, Hey, Hey, We're the Monkees. Sing that theme song, it will replace any song that's stuck in my head. And then for whatever reason, the Monkey song doesn't stick around and it washes away. And so in June, I said, you know what? I wonder if that applies to limiting beliefs. So I have my own, I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. People don't like me, those sorts of things. And I started just applying it. Whenever those thoughts came up, I would sing the theme song to the Monkees, and it works exactly the same way. It replaces the limiting belief, and then it washes away. And within a minute or two, I am free to do what I know to do. Just take the next step. Doesn't change the world, doesn't do anything. And then so I thought, I wonder if I could apply this to fitness, because I myself, and like most people, or many people I talk to.
Oh, no problem. We'll cut it.
So I applied it to my fitness, and so I started just doing what I know to do. I had a workout plan, I had an eating plan that I honestly wasn't following, so I started doing it. And whenever I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, sort of thoughts came up, I would sing the theme song of the Monkees, and it would just allow me to take the next step in my working out and eating. And by doing that, I lost 30 pounds in 70 days.
Wow. So you're saying that just a mindset, you had to correct it, that believe in yourself, that you could do it.
It's not so much a believe in myself sort of thing. I believe that if we naturally do what we know to do, take the next step, then we will produce results. It's not a question, do I believe in myself? It's a question of just, what do I know to do, and how can I take the next step? And what I've seen is that any place where you're not doing what you know to do, at the core of that is some limiting belief, some doubt, some fear, some I'm not good enough sort of thing at the core. And if you could identify that thing, sing your song, if whatever song somebody comes up with, then that frees them up to take the next step. And then
Mhm.
you do what you know to do, and you repeat that over and over again. And if you take enough baby steps in the direction of where you want to go, good things happen.
Okay, well, that makes sense. So take baby steps, and whatever the resistance in your mind you're getting, focus on that. So in your case, what did you find, or what was the hindrance or resistance?
So I mean, there were like a couple big ones. Like, I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. It's going to fail. I've already tried
Okay.
this sort of thing. But
Mhm.
the big one was I was one day in probably in June, I think it was. I was working through stuff and I was just stuck. And I train people now on how our limiting beliefs feel, because what I find is that when you have a I'm not good enough sort of thought starting to run,
Mhm.
it will show up in your body in different ways. Like for me, my chest gets tight and I get very heavy, kind of like, constricted. Other
Mhm.
people get headaches or, whatever. It's for each person. But I just realized I couldn't get through my kind of normal, I'm not good enough sort of thoughts. And then it dawned on me like, oh, I'm a quitter. And for me, I have failed businesses. My wife and I are separating. I have friendships that I've quit on. Like I have this whole thing, like I'm a quitter. Like I really thought that was true. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's not true. That's just a song that's been playing in my head for so long that I thought it was true. And I'm like, wow, what if I didn't quit? What could I do? And this is where I really started taking on my fitness. And because I was like, oh, I'm sure you have lots of courses where, they're what to eat and how to work out sort of courses that we paid for. I had lots, so I just grabbed two that I used that I paid for that I knew about, and I just went to work, and I just did it. And from that, what I found is it's not the course itself or the workout plan or the eating plan is not as important as you actually following the plan.
Mhm. Yeah, and that is, I think there are a few layers here, and I would like to kind of have more info on that. So, one is, like you said, the song keeps playing. Is that song keep playing in your mind? Is it your own song which is keep playing? A second is, are the environment like that? So maybe you have friends or people around you, they feed your negativity more, or combination of both.
Well, there's that saying, nobody can pick on you if you don't let them, sort of thing. And I, I tend to think that for whatever reason, that song gets playing in our head, and why it's there. I've stopped trying to figure out why it's there,
Mhm.
because if you think about it, if you get a Lady Gaga song stuck in your head, and
Mhm.
you don't spend any time thinking, where did this come from, or what friend of mine shared this with me, or what about my mother or father? You don't spend any time doing that. You're just like, well, that's annoying. I want to let it go. And our negative thoughts are those self doubts are in
Mhm.
large part are the exact same way. And they're just songs that are stuck in our head. And if you can let them go, not give them any extra energy or um, processing or any of that stuff, you just let them go, and then you go do what you know to do.
Okay, so what you're saying is that there could be combination of things, but I've seen, there are. I think I had earlier guest one day, and I think had a great talk, and I think one of the things they said, yeah, if you invite in your party few friends, and there are few friends coming, and you say, yeah, they're coming, and then they're yeah, really coming, and then you're excited. Don't mix with people who you're just kind of barely positive, because they feedback negativity and kind of lower your energy. So
I mean, yes. Yes. The people that you're around obviously can feed you, and obviously can help. But again, the thoughts that are there, they're in your head, however they got there, because maybe they got there from somebody else.
Mhm.
Because sometimes being around people who are really excited, that can be really confronting. That can trigger negative thoughts as much as being around negative people. So I, I mean, like yes to that, but the main thing is recognizing what are the thoughts and letting them go.
Okay. So, what are the few ways you can help to let it go? So, one is, of course, you do things which is telling you do the opposite, but what are some of things which will help to let it go?
So the first thing is to identify, just to recognize it, to
Mhm.
be able to understand when it's showing and when it's playing in your head, and to be able to recognize it first,
Mhm.
then to let it go, and highly recommend just using that approach is called a cure song. It's just basically having a song that replaces the limiting belief and
Mhm.
lets it go, and it replaces it. It's not an inspirational replacement, it's just a mechanical replacement.
Mhm.
Because when you're it's not like a hey hey the monkeys is not like a rah 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 sort of thing. And it's actually great that it's not that, because when you're really in a funk, you're in a funk, you don't have a lot of energy.
Mhm.
And
That's true. That's
so you let it go. Another thing that really helps to let it go is to be clear on your goals.
true.
So if your goal is to be healthy, let's say, you're going to be able to be far more effective in moving forward if your goal is to, like mine is to be at 176 by my birthday in October, and right now I'm at 194. So
Mhm.
I have about 20 pounds to go. And by being clear on that, I know to take when I come out of a conflict or a stop, I know the steps to take. They're much clearer than if it's just to be healthy.
That is true. So, and you can pick, baby steps. So, if you have 3 months, you're gonna lose this much or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can just take a baby step, maybe 2 pound, 1 pound a week, half pound, whatever. So then you are on right track, right?
Yep.
And so those are very bad. Other thing is there any other advice you have, like what is the plan to achieve that? One of course will be, for example, if you want to lose weight, you have to eat better. Is there also plan about um, overall, maybe including the positive environment, incorporating going outdoor activities, or kind of get your mood a little more upbeat?
Well, the main idea around self care is that you start to have confidence in yourself. Like you start to figure out what works for you.
Okay.
And so what I do with people is I don't tell them what to eat, or I don't tell them what to work out with. It's much more a question of what do you know to do? What do you know works for you? Because I think we're overeducated.
Yeah.
The, for the vast majority of us, the question isn't going to is what I need more information. What do I need to learn? That's not the thing. It's how do I make use of the information I already have,
And that's true.
and
And
that will make the difference.
and not every technique will work on everyone. So you could be very individual, like you said. So there are few things which will really work with you, and some might not at all. So which is that's true. So also tell me a little bit about with your techniques. I think they're much needed in COVID time. As you know, I think sad thing is one is virus of and pandemic, of course, and deaths and so forth. But the other sad thing is the morale and it is all self-help. It is really, really needed at this time, if out of any time.
Yeah.
Have you seen that like a major problem right now?
Oh yeah. I mean, people are just. I just posted something in 2020, so about a year ago in June.
Mhm.
80% of people said that they were going to take on new levels of self care. And after COVID ended, it was of course COVID hasn't ended yet, but we
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
we thought it was going to end in June of 2020. But so people know to do it. But the thing is that there's so much stress. We got fires, education, COVID, Afghanistan, politics. There's so much there. Their jobs. There's so much job looking for new work and all of that kind of stuff. that it's so easy. If you don't have a system and a habit in place to take care of yourself, it's so
Mm,
easy not to do it.
mm,
And that's why I work with I create a system for people so they can go through. And the first thing that we do is we get really clear on what are the limiting beliefs, what are stopping them from doing what they know to do. Then what are their goals? What is it that they want to achieve? And then what's a reasonable plan?
mm.
You don't need a fancy plan. You just need something reasonable that will allow you to go from where you're at to where you want to go. And most of us have plans. I'm sure, like, you got a bookshelf full of stuff that are basically plans, and you can go back and you find the one that speaks to you, and then you start to do it, and then you build up your confidence by maybe practicing some. You build up your confidence by having some people around you that you can learn from and inspire you, and also by looking at our stories. Like, in these tough times, we forget that we actually got skills, that we've accomplished things before. So if we can remind ourselves of that, that helps.
And of course, like you say, sharing and caring. So that really helps to
Yeah.
kind of listen to each other, see what worked for you, maybe might work for me or might not. So we can. So also tell me a little bit about what are some of the pros and cons which you have seen somebody trying to do their self-help techniques. What they have faced more difficulty or.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I'm seeing is that the limiting beliefs are really, really powerful. They any place that where you're not doing what you know to do, there's some limiting belief, and most of us have places where we're not doing something that we know to do. And the challenge is that all the techniques that there are out in the past, they've involved a lot of work. Like, there's the Nike version of getting past limiting beliefs, like just do it. And there's the Simon Sinek version, which is have a bigger why. There's a religious reason, which is to have a deeper sense of faith in a bigger vision of the world. There's the Tony Robbins approach, which is just to replace what's there with something more positive. There's tapping, and there's all this stuff, but all of those things put more energy into this thing that what I'm seeing is just not true. It's not true that people don't like me. That was my limiting belief, or that I'm a quitter. There's no part of my body there's no organ that has puts out extra I'm a failure. None of us have that, but we think they're true. They feel very true, and we take actions aligned with the fact that we think they're true. The results are real, but that thing is not there. So what I see what people do is that we spend a lot of time trying to process all that stuff out and trying to get to the heart of it all and all that stuff. And the fact is that's just giving extra shape and form and energy to something that's not real, something that's not true. It's as real about your life as a song that you got stuck in your head.
Also, I'd like to know, do you think with doing certain techniques might help, like if they kind of observe or let's say sleep better, of course, and or they do a little more outdoor activities than indoor to.
I mean, yeah, there's it's pretty common, like being outdoors and getting sleep is helpful. But again, it comes down to what really works for the person.
Mhm.
I think we can spend less time trying to figure out the right way to do it, and much more time going like, what works for me? Because then if I figure out what works for me, then I'm going to take steps. I'm going to evaluate the process. Like, did it work the way I wanted it to? But it's going to help me build up my confidence in myself, which is going to allow me to keep moving forward to take greater care of myself.
Hmm. Also, I'd like to know, I know you have probably done a lot of counseling for others too. So, any particular case that kind of strikes you or that story can help my audience?
Yeah, I just had a coaching call yesterday with she's a teacher, she's a mom, she's dealing with, she's taking care of her dad, who's, she's got a lot of stuff going on.
Mhm.
And I worked with her just for a couple of weeks. It wasn't, just a couple of phone calls. And the thing that she said to me, she's like, what's really interesting is that I have a couple of friends who we work as accountability partners, and we and both of my friends, they kind of quit because they just were too busy. They're like, I'm too stressed, I'm too tired. They had their own stuff going on. And she said, you know what? Out of doing this work and looking at my being able to notice my limiting beliefs and move forward just within a couple of weeks, I'm not giving up. I'm just continuing to take the steps. And for her, that she said that was a huge breakthrough for her, not because she produced anything amazing, but because she didn't let her friend. Normally, she said that she would have followed her friends and just stopped doing what she wanted to do. But now she's back on. She stayed on track. She's eating what she wants to do. She's working. She's doing her workout. She's doing steps to take care of her dad, and she's just taking those baby steps.
Hmm. Okay, well, that's very good. So I'm glad you could help her and get the baby steps going for her. So, any final thoughts you have for my audience?
No, just know that I think we all have what we need to know. Like we all have plenty of information. You can go and sign up. I have some information on the website, and my main thing is I want to help people really put in self care practices. So if you know that you want to take care of if you want to take care of your self care, if you want to move forward, and it really is like you know what to do, but you're not doing it. Let's schedule a call. I'll walk you through the process. We'll get you moving forward because it's so amazing when you start doing what you know to do. Just good things happen, and it oftentimes doesn't happen as fast as you want, but it usually happens way faster than you think it will.
Well, thank you for coming to our show, and it was pleasure knowing you and also learning that importance is that I think rightly you said on the first line that those days are gone. Where talk about your family and childhood to identify and then let go of your limiting beliefs. So that is true. So you really need to purpose, help and kind of believe in it and work on that way. And thank you for coming to our show. Take care.
Yep. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah.